Good morning. This is Van, Level 8, here to do our pre-market on July 11th, 2026. Let's get going today. This has been a very exciting overnight session. I'm going to start with our key ranges chart here, uh, which we always do. This is the overnight auction here, along with the range here is really the pre-market combined with yesterday's high and low. So that's the sort of the institutional range we're looking at right now for NQ and ES. Uh, both have, both have a point of control over the prior point of control from yesterday. The structure has moved such that we're getting a likely bullish reading here on a yes. So that is the overnight structure, and you can see, but we'll find out more when we get rolling with the regular session and a bunch more volume. So we're only up 10 points on a yes, and 84 on NQ. So NQ's really outperforming so far overnight. These treasuries here haven't expanded these yet, but uh, up slightly. They're fairly flat. We don't have tick information yet. The MACDs are not active. We're actually in a squeeze, Bollinger Band squeeze on both of these indexes right now on this 5-minute chart. It's not an area that we would normally like to trade, but it's obviously not time to trade yet. Uh, move on with maybe some of these larger time frames. We're looking at SPX here. From the daily standpoint, I mean the big upside or the larger viewpoint, the big upside is still this level that runs back into mid-July, and it's right around 30,075-ish. From the lower levels, from the lower points here, we'll have other charts show us these levels to the downside. But there's one there at 674 that looks pretty strong swing, but it was off of this 21 on the 4-hour chart here. And we'll have other ways of mapping these out. We have bullish structures here on really all of this chart. And when I say that, I mean that we have stacked EMAs to the upside. So 221.8 price above that 8, a little bit less so on that hourly chart right there. Go down and look at some smaller time frames here. Here's your 15-minute chart. Definitely a bullish structure, although price is really getting into a transitional area underneath that 8. Pay attention to that as we get more data in the open. Here's a 10-minute. Still, same thing. Prices drop below. And here's our previous day's highs and lows. And that's H4 that went up 4 days ago, went up and got that level we were talking about up here at the 75-ish. And obviously we have L1, and we'll have the pre-market low as we move down here as our immediate levels to the downside, and then we can maybe pick up some of these other lows, but they start to get a ways out there. Here's your 5-minute chart, really squarely between these target zones in a transition. So we're below this price is below the 21 and the 8. The 8's moving down. There's that 200. Same with the 2-minute chart. Almost came down to the 200. We had to be aware of these 200s at all times for our situational awareness and when we're solving this puzzle. We do trade lower time frames. Our execution chart is a 1-minute chart. Most people will tell you the internet gurus will tell you you can't trade this chart, and I agree that if you don't have the right tools to trade it, that you can't trade it. But if we have awareness of the levels involved, we can make the right decisions when we're entering and exiting these trades. So we have standard levels where we can expect orders to be concentrated. And we, through observation, we can look at things like target zones and just the levels that run things throughout the day. There's the Globex VWAP. We'll start to have the regular session VWAP and be able to get a read on all of that. So here are those treasuries, mildly bullish. Oil is down. That would be a mildly bullish thing as well, obviously. VIX at 1553 is at a low normal. We're kind of seeing what we saw yesterday, perhaps. I mean, we didn't have a lot of volume yesterday. And if we go back to our 15-minute chart, we're running 96% of volume for this time of day over the last 15 sessions, but it's actually can be kind of low for this time, but right before the session starts. So maybe another day like yesterday. I hope not. Didn't have enough volume and ATR to really drive any really good tradable moves yesterday. Yesterday was a tougher trading environment in general. From a news standpoint, uh, we have existing home sales today. That's the only market mover on Econo Day. You know, we got a red star there. Not a lot to see there. Uh, from a gamma standpoint, the model, this is the bar chart model for SPX, and SPX is the most important index to look at. We trade NQ, NASDAQ 100, 70, there's around 70 of them in the S&P 500. They're a subcomponent. So the big index is the one really that we focus on a lot, where the dealers, the option dealers are in a positive gamma situation. This means that they've bought more options than they've sold. And when they're in this positive gamma situation, they tend to compress volatility. So their algos will buy low and sell high. And that tends to cause some wiki action or ranging action, is what we typically see with it. Although sometimes we can get, if we get these low volume, low ATR days, if the conditions line up, is when we can get some of those melt up kind of days, really low ATR climbs. So we'll just have to see as we get more data moving forward. Our playbook for today. Says the 11th. There are no big movers on here. There are some Treasury announcements. We're going to have a Fed open market committee, open market committee members going to do some speaking. Nothing they're moving. Nothing really well. Tomorrow we're going to have CPI. That can be a market mover, but it does happen in pre-market. So two-way risk on that. Market backdrop. Treasuries are mildly firmer. We saw that. Oil is mildly firmer. Dollar and VIX flat. VIX says it's up a little bit, but that's not enough to make any difference. So our bear triggers deal with the levels that we watch in terms of volume profiles. So there's a list of how those acronyms, and the bull triggers we're going to hold above the Globex value area high. So we've dropped below that on ES, and we'll have to claim that. And a lot of this becomes clearer as you look at some of our charts. We always look at H1 and L1 on these charts as far as levels to watch, and we're going to watch the rates in the dollar as usual. So that's the playbook in terms of how it actually translates. You come to level 8 and look at our workspace with us. Get into there's more information. You're obviously watching this on YouTube, but you can like and subscribe to that, obviously. Go to level8trading.com. You can get into our free Discord channel, get some time in the room with us, and see how we use this workspace to solve this puzzle every day. And so right now, I mean, I'm optimistic, but kind of cautious about what we're seeing in terms of volume and that really high gamma. We could see some aggressive hedging from the dealers that really cause action like we got yesterday and really like what we're looking at right now. So good luck with trading. I'll be back tomorrow morning, and we'll hope to see you in our NQ room.